Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Or welcome to my channel. My name is Stephen the Jupiterian, here with a look at the current week, Monday, today, the 14th to the 20th, which we have lots going on. We're going to have a lot going on this week. The moon will be moving to Sagittarius on Tuesday the 15th. On the 16th, Mercury moves into Aries, and then Mercury will conjunct Neptune on the 16th. On the 17th or 18th, depending on where you are, it'll be late at night on the West Coast when Mars moves into Leo. Or if you're on the West Coast or East Coast or Europe or in Australia or New Zealand, it'll be the 18th when Mars moves into Leo. On the 18th, the moon moves into Capricorn. The 19th, the sun enters Taurus. Mars trines Neptune. Well, yes. Mars will trine Neptune. And Uranus sextiles the North Node. That's on the 19th. On the 20th, we have a lot. Venus conjuncts the North Node. We have the moon, which is void of course. I will do a whole video of what that means when the moon is void, although all I can say now is that the moon does not make any aspects to any other planets when the moon is in Capricorn. At the early degrees of Capricorn anyway, yes. Venus will sextile Uranus. Mercury will sextile Pluto. Then the moon moves into Aquarius and the sun squares Mars. All right, I'm going to pull up this chart for today, Monday, the 14th, and I am recording this at 6:40, almost 6:41 p.m. because we're almost at 49, 50 seconds. Okay, so, and we have an ascendant in Libra at the moment on the West Coast that I am recording this. And I would like to make this larger. Full screen. Okay. I think you can see that now. We have all these planets in Pisces in the 6th house. Well, this is not a planet. This is Ceres, the goddess of the harvest, which is a sickle or a scythe where you're harvesting wheat. Venus, still in her exaltation at 24 degrees and 42 minutes of Pisces. Saturn at 26 degrees and 8 minutes of Pisces. The North Node at 27 degrees, 12 minutes Pisces. Mercury, the last degree, a 29th degree, anaretic degree, is a very potent degree where Mercury is in Pisces. And then I will show you, put this into tomorrow, this 15th. Mercury is at 29 degrees 52 minutes. And then we're going to go into moving this into hours. When Mercury finally moves into Aries, there you go. Let's move this into minutes now because it's very close. All right, well, let's move that. $11. Yeah. So it'll be, yeah, at 11, 11 something. But yeah, on the 18th, it'll be on the 18th. Why not? 17th, the 16th is the 17th, because actually it's at 12:08. We have Mercury at 0 degrees and 1 minute. So that will be the 17th or the 18th. Well, the 18th, the 17th or the 18th, when Mars moves into Leo. See, now Mars is at the 29th degree. And then if we move this a day ahead, to the 18th, Mars is in Leo, which will trine Neptune exact on the 19th. And Mercury conjuncts Neptune on the 17th. And then we have the Sagittarius moon. Then, although actually, let's move this into a day before that and a day again. So yes, on the 16th, yes, the moon moves into Sagittarius. And then, so yeah, here you go. Mercury is still at 0 degrees 1 minute on the 16th. Mercury in Aries on the 16th. Mercury conjuncts Neptune. And then the 18th, 17th. Yeah, the 18th. Mars moves into Leo. So we have all this fire now. Neptune, Mercury, and the sun. Well, forget all these. Actually, we don't need that. I was dealing with this. This Salacia, the asteroid Salacia. That's the IC or the Imunculi or the nadir of your chart. The very bottom of the chart. Here's Chiron. That's the part of fortune, which we don't need right now, but that's for personal use. But the sun is at 28 degrees and it's moving forward. And Mars is in Leo on the 17th, late the 17th, early in late 11 something in the morning, in the evening, but the rest of the world will have it on the 18th or the 19th. And then the moon moves into Capricorn. Here we have the moon in Capricorn on the 18th, and then the 19th the sun moves into Taurus. So we're starting in moving it from sun in fire sign to the sun in an earth sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, and Venus is still in Pisces, which is a very good thing. Yes. Mars is making a trine to Neptune. And also making a square. Well, no. Well, yeah, Mars is making a square to the sun also here. Or the sun is squaring the sun exact on the 20th. Yes. So this is all going to happen on this week, 14th, the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, where we will have our, well, um, we're close to our third quarter moon. And then the new moon is next week, the 27th. That's 7 days from Sunday. So the 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus. So the moon is moving from Capricorn, moving to Aquarius. So this week it moved from Scorpio to Sagittarius to Capricorn. And then later this evening on the 20th, we move this in hours. The moon will move into Aquarius on the 20th. Here's the moon at 26 degrees of Capricorn. There you go. And in the evening, yes, around 5 p.m., 8 p.m. on the East Coast, early morning in Australia on the 21st. We'll have the moon in Aquarius, which will be opposing Mars. Very soon on the 21st. Oh, this week. Yes. From the 20th, from the 14th to the 20th. We have Mercury moving into Aries, which is a better sign for Mercury. It won't be as confused. It won't be as diffusive and losing details. Well, although actually you might be starting to talk faster with Mercury in Aries. Moving faster, talking faster, which Aries does very well. It's a fire sign. It moves fast. Aries is very pioneering, very aggressive, and Mercury, and yeah, is speaking fast, aggressively, and quickly. Where when Mercury was in Pisces, I was speaking very um, slowly and very deliberately to get the details, which is not easy to do when Mercury is in a detriment, it's detriment and in fall. Mercury in Pisces, people generally are misunderstood sometimes because they miss details. They don't, they're very good storytellers, but they miss uh, the details, and the content is lacking because of that. But we have Venus here, and Saturn all together, almost. They're a degree apart. And Mercury is coming close. Venus is coming closer to Saturn. Um, on is it the 21st? Well, Venus is coming closer to Saturn. Uh, is it the 21st? Let's move this ahead. Yes. Here you go. Yeah. Well, Saturn is conjunct the North Node. Actually, that's a pretty good thing. Saturn conjunct the North Node is a very cool, good time for to get things organized, to get things done that you want to do, have um that you want to that are to get your life purpose. North Node is what you strive to do. Saturn is bringing that stability and that strength and discipline to get something that you're working towards. Um, yeah, now that Mars is in Leo, we're going to be moving faster. We're going to be more aggressive, but remember, actually, using power over force always works out in the end. Um, when you force something to happen, um, it leads to a negative outcome. When you use power, on the other hand, um, without force, without without being too aggressive, being too um uh Aries will be very pioneering, but don't use the energy to burn a bridge here, especially if you're Libra rising, because Mars is in your 11th house of friends, and this is the asteroid Pandora next to it, which you don't want to open that box and release all kinds of chaos in your friendships, and uh anything that with groups and everything. Yeah, this you don't want to dissolve a group. You don't want to dissolve or cut anything out away, or yeah, not great. And it rules your seventh house. Mars rules your seventh house. You have Mercury and Neptune together here, which could bring some delusion, well, delusion, yes, but also dissolving um communications could dissolve something away in your relationships or with your spouse. Um, it's a great time to communicate what you want from your friends, in your social interactions, and also with your money. Mars rules your second house as well. Mars rules your second house of money. Um, the things that you possess, the things that you ingest, and make sure you're eating properly. Uh, don't overdo it with friends though. Uh, that you just cut them out of your life completely. Um, but actually, you have Jupiter, Saturn in the sixth house, all these planets in Pisces, Saturn and Venus in your sixth house of work. Um, and pets. Um, health. So yeah, actually, you're eat healthier. Saturn is here to help you with your health habits. And Venus is here, in a very great place too, to help with this also. Um, what else did I want to say? Let's go back a day. I don't want to go to the 21st yet, but that's what's going to happen for Libra. And let's go to, all right, let's see. Aries rising. Okay, yeah. So we started with Libra. Well, yeah, I'm just wanting to start and show you Libra, but here we have Aries. Well, Mercury moved into your sign, and you'll be communicating more and about your spiritual growth, and awakening. And when Saturn comes in, it'll be solidifying all that for you in your personality, your character that everyone sees. Your character will be more disciplined, more stable, I think, when Saturn is in Aries. Uh, but that's for another time because Saturn moves into Aries in May. Saturn moves into Aries in May. Yep, not that far away, in a few months. Oh, a few weeks, actually. I believe, right? May 4th, May 5th. Check my notes here. Um, although we have a new moon on April 27th, Saturn moves into Aries. Um, Saturn moves into Aries. Yeah, yeah, the end of May, the 26th. Yes. Or Saturn, the 24th. Days. Let's move that back a day. The 24th. Yes. The 24th. The 25th of May. Well, the 25th, we have Saturn at 0 degrees, 1 minute. But yeah, that's when Saturn enters Aries at the end of May. So we have some time to go until we get to this new phase of life where Saturn will be moving into Aries. And then we'll go retrograde in November back into Pisces. October, November, something like that. Yeah, they'll be doing if when we get closer to then Saturn will be retrograding back into Pisces until January. And then January, Saturn moves back into Aries for good for 2.5 years. So here is the time clock. Let's go hours. Oop. So in Aries, and then yeah, on this. All right, let's go. Okay, ahead hours. And then we'll put Aries on the time clock. And okay, here we are, the 16th. We have Mercury in Aries conjunct Neptune. And then the Mars is at 29 degrees here until it moves in the 17th or 18th into your 5th house of creativity. It's no longer in the house of your home, the house of children, the house of pleasure, the house of fun. It's a casual relationship house, so casual sex, casual relationships. The 7th house is your spouse. The 11th house is friends. So these, the 5th, the 7th, and the 11th are friendships. Well, yeah, or um, socializing things for Aries. So yes, and so yeah, we have a new perspective, new outlook for Aries. Taurus. Well, Mercury is moving into your 12th house of self-undoing. Secret, it's a very where back end deals, back room deals, um uh foreign shore with or maybe dealing with foreign shore on foreign shores, like offshore accounts. um could be that too. And the 12th house is also the house of your self undoing. It's a hidden house. um your blind spot, it's a blind spot to you also, because you don't see it, but other people do. So you may be talking about things in the back, um, behind the scenes, uh, to other people, and actually you may say something to upset someone who may be a hidden enemy that you may find who is a hidden enemy, because the 12th house is the house of hidden enemies, where the 7th house is the house of open enemies. So let's see. What else is happening here with you? Mars is going to be moving from your 3rd house to your 4th house. So this was all about siblings, your neighborhood, your Mars and Cancer, which I was talking about in the beginning of this. So you got to listen to the beginning of this talk to understand what Mars in Cancer and moving into Leo is all about. And I'd advise listening to the entire video, uh, because you'll get more insights into what I'm saying. All right, moving on to Gemini. Gemini, well, Gemini. Mars is going to be moving, well, Mercury is moving into your 11th house. So you actually may have like spiritual conversations and enlightened conversation in your social groups, with your friends, talking maybe, um talking about a monetary gain from career aspiration or an entrepreneurial endeavor that you're working on. Uh, so yeah, and well, Gemini, Jupiter's been in your sign for quite some time, until June 9th, when Jupiter moves into your 2nd house of money. So this is all about you making your becoming, actually will probably be, um probably get some weight gain as well here with Jupiter in your 1st house. That could happen. May not happen for all Geminis, but yeah, this depends on your chart individually. Um, Mars will be moving into your 3rd house on the 17th or the 18th of April. And yeah, so it's going to be you're going to be dealing with, instead of money and finance, you're going to be dealing with neighbors, siblings, your neighborhood. Maybe you'll be changing your neighborhood. Maybe you'll be moving, Gemini, while Mars is in your 3rd house. Could possibly happen if that's what you would want to do, with Mars in the 3rd, cutting and severing, moving to a new location, moving to a new neighborhood. That could be possible, but I would watch out for Pluto when Mars opposes Pluto in the 9th. So yeah. maybe after Mars goes past 3 degrees or 4 degrees of Leo or beyond. And when Mars moves into your fourth house in June, May or June, yeah. So we have friendships, you all that. This is all about you. Mercury is in your, yeah, Mercury is real ruled by Mercury. Is in your 11th house, and Mercury rules your fourth house. So this could be communicating with people in your where you feel safe and with about yourself and with your friends. Who are true friends? Who can you count on? And it's going to be a very spiritual connection as well. All right, moving on, because I'm just moving on. Cancer. Well, Cancer, Mars has been in your sign as moving into Leo, your second house of money, finance, the things you ingest, your voice, um, speech. Maybe you'll be change. It may change your vocal speech, the way you talk, communicate. The way your voice sounds. Maybe you're going to be moving from a low pitch to a high pitch sound, or vice versa. Who knows? That could be possible with Mars in your second house, moving into your second house. Um, Mercury has moved into your 10th house. This is about your career, your public reputation. Uh, it's there's a healing going on here in your 10th house of career, your public persona. This is how people see you, but this is how you are seen in the public in your career. Yeah. So, um, and then Mars will be moving into your second house of money and finance. I already spoke about that. So yes, actually, that's very cool for you, Gemini. Or Cancer, sorry. Next, Leo. Leo. Well, Mars is coming into your sign on the 17th, 18th of April. Mercury has moved into your ninth house of higher learning, the higher purpose. What are you here to do? What is your higher purpose? Your beliefs. You'll be communicating. Maybe you'll have a new spiritual belief that belief that you will be coming to you, or uh, like. Or a new spiritual religious belief. Or yeah, this could be just spiritual belief in anything other than religion, or changing a religion of some sort, um, maybe you're going to become Buddhist, who knows, or you're going to become uh, more devout Catholic, who knows, it could be anything here, but it'll be very spiritual. And then let's see, Leo, the sun is in your ninth house as well, because you are ruled by the sun. And when the sun is in your ninth house, this is also maybe making a book deal, or talking to a publisher. Maybe Leo rising, maybe you're thinking of writing a book. Who knows? Some of you may be thinking of writing a book. I think it would be very good to you would get very bursts of ideas here when Mercury and Neptune conjunct, I think. And it'll be very healing with Chiron here and the sun in Aries as well. You'll get definitely bursts of energy from your ninth house with the sun here in the ninth house. So book publishing, book of teaching, actually this is higher education, like at the college level or PhD, or maybe you're going back to school for your PhD, who knows? Could happen. Because you're going to be more philosophical in the way you do things, having fun with Moon and Sagittarius in your fifth house. That's pretty cool, Leos. All right, let's move on to Gemini, Virgo. Well, Virgo, Mars is moving into your 12th house of self-undoing. Back end deals, back room deals, or even offshore accounts from foreign lands. A Swiss bank account, possibly. Uh, Dealing with something overseas or foreign or self-undoing. Mars can probably be doing so. You'll probably do something to upset a hidden enemy, and that would not be good. Um, and Virgo, Mars rules your eighth house and your third house of your neighborhood, your neighbors, your siblings, and your environment. Hmm. That's not a good combination either, because you can piss someone off in your immediate environment, and it'll be mystery to you. But hey, actually, it'll be maybe, yeah, it'll be karmic. um, or dharmic, or gets your dharma and karma, who knows? Um, Jupiter in your 10th house is bringing abundance here, but yeah, Mars, if you do using your Mars in the correct way, with Mars in the 11th, maybe you have Mars in the 11th house. Um, it's not a good thing to be forceful towards people in social situations, social groups, forcing things to happen in a group instead of adding or supporting a group with your powerful and in powerful intentions. It's the best thing for you to do at this moment. When Mars moves into your 12th house, I would watch out for hidden enemies, um, repressed feelings, um, things may come up in your dreams, or violent dreams may happen also, which will be karmic. And look for, actually, if you do have any prophetic dreams at this time when Mars moves into your 12th house, it might be telling Mars may be telling you something. So be write down your dreams. Okay, next. We're moving on to Libra. Well, Libra, you're ruled by Venus, and Venus is in your sixth house of work, of service to others, servitude, and health. Um, Eating properly, taking care of your health, um, following a health routine, um, to accommodate uh, your hectic schedule. Uh, so and Venus also rules your eighth house, and you. Venus rules you and your eighth house, and Venus exalted in the sign of Pisces is will be bringing the great things to your personality, how people see you, that you're doing their work, and you're probably doing all this to make and you're looking better, you're feeling better for because you're doing the discipline, you're watching your diet, you're watching your health. So if you that's a great thing for you, Libra. Uh Mercury and Neptune are in your seventh house, have moved into your seventh house. So you'll be communicating with your spouse, your significant other people, everyone in that you interact with in service and in your all real relationships, because you're a very relationship oriented type of person. So you do need to rest. That's what Saturn and is bringing here. Make sure you get enough rest and taking care of yourself. And I think that's about enough for now. Actually, yeah, this is just a very quick one for every sign. Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, you're ruled by Mars, and Mars will be moving in for out of your ninth house of of your purpose. What is your purpose? Maybe if is my purpose working for me? And if not, how can you repair it and take the appropriate actions to do so? When it moves into Leo, it'll be moving into your career sector, your public persona. Mars, whatever you do here in your 10th house, Scorpio, it will be seen. And just make sure you're not um cutting off any part of your reputation that you or like how you're seen in the world, how you're seen in your career. And because Mars rules you, and Mars also rules your sixth house of service and um pets, the sixth house of work, where you'll be talking about a health route. Maybe you'll be seeking a health routine, uh doing some research on it about it. It'll bring a spiritual awakening to your service, a spiritual teaching to the service that you provide, or a service that you want to do to make yourself healthier. If you have health issues, it is a great time to think of these things. What else? That's it. I think moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius rising and sun and rising, yeah. Well, Sagittarius, well, Jupiter's been in your 11th house for forever, and that's your ruling planet, Jupiter, in your 7th house. So it's bringing abundance to your relationships with other people, and uh, Jupiter also rules your 4th house of home. So they may not see people in you or that you deal with, or your partner. You maybe if you're living with your partner, this is a great time for you to be more disciplined in your home. Mars in your 8th is moving into your 9th house also. Mercury and Neptune. Okay, all right. Mercury and Neptune. It'll be more creative. Maybe you'll be writing or communicating about something spiritual, creating something spiritual, or maybe you're having like creating that project that is of spiritual nature, or you'll have, if you want a child, you'll have a very spiritual awakened uh maybe this could be a very interesting time to do some kind of sexual uh healing and communicating in a spiritual way with your, if you're doing with a, well, will have a spiritual connection with a person. If you want to date someone, it will be a very good thing if you have a very cool, excellent spiritual connection with Neptune conjunct Mercury, and it's very healing. Chiron, sexual healing here. Sexual healing. Yep. That Barry White song. um, and your home and your uh, and then Mars moving into your 9th house is what is my purpose the same? Well, how is it going to change? Mars um takes Mars cuts and severs things that no longer serve you, and they also it'll be more aggressive. Uh, so um, Mars rules your 12th house of hidden enemies. So Mars in the 8th is also a hidden house of the occult. So hidden enemies probably be coming out for you too. Um, Mars also rules your 5th house of children, procreation, sex. Procreation is sex, yes. Of your creativity, a passion that you're working on, or an entrepreneurial endeavor that you want to pursue, which will be very spiritual in nature. Absolutely. And when Mars moves into your 9th house, it'll bring that more abundance and more spiritual, because the 9th house is spirituality. The 9th house is religion, philosophy, your purpose, and the house of God. All right, now moving on. That's very short and sweet. Actually, if you want a reading with me, you can book one with me and we can go into more detail, but I'm just covering just a few basics here. Capricorn. Well, Capricorn, you're ruled by Saturn. And, well, it's in your third house of your siblings, your neighbors, neighborhood, their local environment. Mercury has moved into your fourth house of home. So you're probably thinking about a spiritual awakening in your home. Maybe you're finding feng shui in your home to make it feel make the flow of your home feel more aligned to you and your in your home and your sanctuary. It's very Mars, well, Mars ruled, so it's probably going to be very chaotic, erratic, and fast paced in your home. With Aries in the fourth house for you, Capricorn. Uh, but it'll be very spiritual. You could probably do some kind of, as I said, feng shui or making your home flow in a better way spiritually for you in some way other than feng shui. But that's the only thing that I can think of at the moment. Um, or doing or bringing in some spiritual artifacts or spiritual things like singing a singing bowl, for instance, too, and to decorate your home in a more to bring that flow to you. Well, Mars has been in your seventh house for the longest time. It said um on the 18th, it'll be moving into your eighth house of the occult, your other people's money, other people's values. Do their values still resonate with you? Um, do their uh yeah, actually you'll be probably um working on uh paying off some credit card debt, or it could be like death, a literal death in the family. Mars is the eighth house, is the house of death, and someone may be the house of death. Mars cuts, severs, takes away someone in your it's the house of death. um yeah, Capricorn rising. But this could be, it doesn't have to be. We'll have to look at your chart, individual chart. This is just basic uh, astrology here. It would have to take into account other things. Uh, because it's your fourth house. Mars rules your fourth house, and Mars rules your 11th house of friends too. So Mars is going to be the eighth house. So could be a mother or a friend who passes, or the death of a friendship. Could be. Or you're moving somewhere. The death of the home, where you're moving to a new place, maybe. Who knows? But that's possible too. But this is only depending on your chart. And actually listen to the entire video from the beginning, because I talk about what it is, what Mars moving into the sign of Leo and Mercury's moving into the sign of Aries in the beginning of this video. We're into Aquarius now. Well, Aquarius, you're ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in your second house of money, your of what you ingest. You're taking care of the voice. You're taking care of um things that you possess, and it's not a great time to spend a lot of money or expend yourself, expend your financial finances. um but Mercury is conjunct Neptune in your third house of your immediate or local environment, and siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, your extended family, and your neighbors, the neighborhood. And then Mars is in going to be moving from your sixth house of service to your seventh house of partnerships, one-to-one relationships. And Mars also rules your 10th house of career. Mars rules your third. So Mars will be very uh prominent for you at this time when Mars moves into Leo, because Mars rules your 10th house of career and your third house of siblings, your local environment, and yeah, as I said. And Mercury is moving in there, and Mars is moving into your seventh house. Um, you're ruled by Saturn, which is in your second. All right. So for now, that's about all I want to talk about for you, Aquarius. And last but never least, and always best, Pisces. I have the sun in Pisces. I am a Sagittarius rising myself. But Pisces, well, you are ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is in your fourth house of your home. You're probably expanding your home, expanding the foundation, expanding and building an addition to your home. Because you start with the foundation, then you build from there, and you're probably adding an addition to your home. And it'll be very prominent for you to be in a home where it showcases you and your career, because Jupiter also rules your 10th house of your career. So you may be entertaining more. And then when Mars moves into the sixth house, you'll probably be dealing with some health issues, some service. Mars moving into the house of service. And then Mercury is in your second house of money, finances. You're probably, yeah, not the best time to, well, yeah, actually communicating, and actually it's a good time to take stock of what you possess and what you own, what you're ingesting, and what you're spending. Your spending habits, Pisces. I know no shop therapy at the moment. Um, it's it will bring spiritual awareness to you and healing to your financial um plan. And yeah, so that's Mars is moving into your sixth house. Yeah, we talked about that. And actually, that's all I have for every one of you. Everyone, thank you for watching this very long, extensive video. I'm going to stop my share right now. So yes, thank you for watching. If you got this far, hit that thumbs up button. Hit the like button. Yes, thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new here. I know many of you are watching my videos. Subscribe. and and post a comment and that's about it. Actually, if you want timestamps, actually, if anyone could help me out with that, I would very much appreciate that. I have so much to do. I'm doing my own things after, yeah. So thanks for watching. I'm Stephen the Jupiterian, signing out. Take it easy, everybody.